think I've always had an interest in the environment. I was active in Boy Scouts, and one of the tenets that all Scouts, I think, are taught is that, you leave the earth in a better place than you found it for future generations. I became mayor in 1996 in Carmel. Carmel was still a very small town. Here we were, Clay Township at that point, which is now Carmel, was 50 square miles. That's double the size of Manhattan. Yet we didn't really have a downtown. And so a great deal of time and effort during my terms has been figuring out how to do public-private partnerships to go from just a car suburb to a walkable, pedestrian-friendly downtown with a center and a heart. One of the things I had heard from people in the community, one, we didn't have much of a park system. And so we've taken our park acreage from 40 acres close to 1,000 acres. We had no bike or pedestrian trails. And so now we have 225 miles plus of bike trails. And I think the most important thing we can do for our cities is to redesign them, particularly the suburbs, so that people don't spend all that time in their cars. It's important to remember the average American adult spends 2 hours a day in their car. I started to think that if the cities banded together and continued to do this work, we could meet our goals, because government really is local. One of the things I haven't talked about is our roundabout program. What a lot of people don't think about is how much carbon is saved by roundabouts versus traffic lights. All the cars idling at the stoplights add up to a tremendous amount of wasted fuel. And our city engineer calculated that we're saving tons of carbon every year by having 130 some plus roundabouts versus traffic lights. I was very fortunate to be one of 4 Republicans appointed by President Obama to a task force on climate and the environment. Sometimes I feel like an outlier in the Republican Party, but I remind myself every so often that I've never met a Republican or a Democrat that wants their family and friends to drink dirty water or breathe dirty air. I think that cities, regardless of the average salary in that city or resources, can make a huge impact to the environment. And there's always going to be people on the far side of this issue and the far other side of that issue. It's important to explain and try to bring as many people in the community together around the decisions you make as possible.